Kurozaza mawime. Mi fonganjia. Mi damlo ganji. And what we did, we greeted you for your morning. We should have said mi kudo. That is to greet a group of people or someone senior to you. We asked, did you wake well? Mi fonganjia. We asked, did you sleep well? Mi damlo ganjia. Some of the nuances of greetings in the Fong language of Dahomey. We wanted to talk to you today about some brief concepts related to the Vodùn cosmology, protocol, and the family, and how it extends out into the greater worship of the deities at large. Very brief concept, very important to understand. These things take away a lot of the watered down universalism that has been thrust upon our tradition by our own people, and it takes away from the essence of it. So we want to bring back the culture of it versus the attempted universalism. We want to begin by giving praises to the Great One and the other great ones under the Great One. So we say Midopwe Mawuse Bolisa. Midopwe Vodùn Bi. Midopwe Vodùn Che Bi. Midopwe Noche. Midopwe Toche. Midopwe Kulito Gambiche Ache. And so we did a brief greeting to the great creator Mawuse Bolisa in our tradition. The Kulito, the ancestors. Vodùn Bi, all of the Vodùn. Noche, my mother. Toche, my father. And that is a way to say greetings to the lineage in a brief form. Of course, our prayers, our invocations are much more deep than that. We want to talk to you about, and I have a few concepts here written down, the Hue, Huenu, Ako, Akota, and Hun, Hun, Vodùn, and other concepts that may be connected to that. Going back to the Isheshe part of this Vodùn tradition. Isheshe is the expression by the Yoruba people. It means traditionalism, culture, the values, the way of life. In Ofun Meiji, the Odu Ofun Meiji, which is the last of the great 16 Odu, it is said that the family is the first shrine. That is true all around African tradition from what we have understood, what we have studied. It is very profound in the Vodùn concept of doing things, and they have kept that pretty strong in relation to, in comparison to other groups that have kind of accepted a more universalistic approach. So the word for family in Vodùn, and it's in the Fong language, Fong Bay, it is we. As a matter of fact, this term is used amongst other Be speakers, GBE, Be meaning language, in what used to be the Dahomey area, Dahomey Kingdom, which is southern Benin. Hue is the family. We is also the house. That is the first shrine. And it's very important to understand that, because connected with the way as the first shrine conceptually and functionally in everyday life, we have divinities and spirits associated with the way. So one particular household may have a particular divinity, Vodùn, that it worships, that other people may not worship, because it could be something like someone in the family was deified, right, to the level of Vodùn, and only that family recognizes that person as a Vodùn, as a deity. So it's very specific we see when we're talking about African spirituality in general. And I'm saying African spirituality even though we're talking about Vodùn. These concepts actually run across the whole gamut of African tradition. So we have the Hwe, which is the family. We have the Hwenu, which is the extended family. We have the Ako, or the Akota, which is the clan. And of course, the various Akota come together to form tribal nations or nations. Each family, each clan have their particular nuances. We call the deity of the extended family Hwenu or Hwenu. Hun is a stand-in word for Vodùn. We could say Hwenu Vodùn, but we could also say Hwenu Hun. Hun is very conceptually specific and says something about the nature of Vodùn. The word Hun means rhythm, it means drum, and it also means blood. And of course, ultimately, it means spirit or deity. All of these concepts are connected in relation to Hun, the blood, the rhythm of the deity, the rhythm of spirit, the drum itself that gives the rhythm, but also life. You know, we talk about blood. Blood is the rhythm of life. Your heart beats to a rhythm. And of course, the Vodùn are extensions of that, or representations of that in the cosmic world. This, once again, takes away a lot of the universalistic tendencies of the tradition, because we say in the tradition that the Vodùn, we call it, one phrase I've heard an Abome elder say, Vodùn Hun, right? So you say, well, we thought that Vodùn and Hun could be interchangeable. Why use them together? In this case, it says Vodùn Hun. Vodùn is the blood. Vodùn are in the blood. So one cannot worship in the Vodùn tradition properly, in actuality at all, to be honest with you, without being blood related to these divinities. These divinities infuse themselves into the very spiritual and physical DNA of our ancestors long time ago, pre-contact of the Yovo with the Yovo meaning non-Africans, and in particular in this case whites from Europe. So we have Hwenu Hun, which is a deity of the extended family. The same rules apply to the Hwenu Hun as it does to the Wehun, you know, the deity of the family. Deity of the extended family is very specific. Haitian Vodùn has this concept pretty down pat. They may not call it this, but they have particular divinities that are very sacred to their experience. Those deities are specifically Haitian and can only be worshipped by Haitians because they extend or evolved out of the experience of the Africans in Haiti or Haiti. We see a big example of that with the petrol divinities that are tend to be homegrown a lot. Not all of them are homegrown, meaning homegrown to Haiti, but many of them are. And that's because of the whole concept of the Hun, the blood. We also have Ako or Akota Hun, or Akota Vodùn, which is the deity of the clan. Now, with any of these, you can have several divinities in a particular family, extended family, or clan. What we see common in all of this is that there is one divinity that stands out. Usually each family, each extended family, an extended family usually is a village. And each clan, they will have a priest or priestess that is the head of that family divinity in that family. So there may be other initiates to that deity. in the family, but ultimately the head rites, rituals, funerary services, major ceremonies and whatnot, they go to the head of the clan, head of the divinity of that particular clan. So remember, Hum means blood, rhythm, deity. It also means heart. Very, very profound concepts in that. Oh, okay, so the several Ako form the society as a whole, or the nation, right? We call that Hotome. So the nation is comprised of all of the clans. Some nations, once again, just like the previous concepts, family, extended family, clan, have divinities that are only divinities for them. They're national divinities, so to speak, or national ancestors. Some of them, they're borderline between Vodùn proper and Kulito, which is the ancestors. Kulito means those on the path, those that have person on the path of death, person on the path to the realm of the ancestral place. So these concepts are very vital to understand, to once again take away the universalism, but also to get a proper grasp on what's going on. Here's the problem. Many New Africans don't know their family divinity. They don't know their ancestral lineage. They pick and choose traditions, which makes sense from the perspective of that we've been cut off from our tradition for a long time. In many ways, we're still cut off because a lot of the nuances we don't have. They're not being taught to us, and or they're not being pursued by New Africans themselves. This is problematic. So we have to start with the foundations, and the foundation is where family. Of course, connected to the family is the Kulito, the ancestors. Without the ancestors, you do not have a divinity. You do not have a tradition. You do not have you. There's no me, there's no you without Kulito. That is the very basis of our tradition. It's what we do this for. Various divinities are in concert with various ancestors or ancestor pools. So there, at any given time, there are various ancestors or groups of ancestors working with particular divinities. But we want to move on a little bit with this. So the Vodùn, we left off a little bit, got a little off track with Vodùn. Vodùn would be like, for us as New Africans, someone like Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Fannie Lou Hamer, Queen Mother Moore, Khalid Muhammad. These individuals can become Vodùn proper, and that's where we're going with this. Vodùn proper are the deities that no matter what your clan, as long as you're African, you can worship. These deities include deities like Ablekete, Sakpata. Sakpata is a deity that from Mahi land, which is north of Abomey, which was the center of the Dahomeyan Empire. Sakpata speaks a particular language specific to Mahi. We call it Mahi Be. Be, GBE, as I mentioned, is language. However, Sakpata is a universal deity in the sense that it's universal to all Africans that are connected by blood to this divinity. Hevioso is from Heviet. The speakers of that area speak Gung. So Gungbe is his more sacred language, so to speak. So we're very specific even in this type of language we speak to divinities. But these divinities are internationally African, if you will, universally African. Ablekete, Minona, which is the mothers like Iami in the Isheshe tradition. We have Agbe, which is the deity, the hunter deity, Agwe. We have universal divinity like I think we mentioned Hevioso, Sogbo, and the list goes on. Some of these divinities started with particular clans, but because of their nature, their strength, and their usefulness, they extended to the greater society. In this case, in the Vodùn society. I hate that I have to continue to mention this over and over. Vodùn, by its very nature, just listening to what we said about Hun representing deity, or Vodùn, Hun also being blood. Vodùn, by its very nature, excludes non-Africans. This is not a rant against non-Africans. This is not to. This is nothing to be on a soapbox and speaking against non-Africans or whatever. Which, you know, it really shouldn't matter to an African person if it were. But by its nature, non-Africans are excluded from this tradition. So we look at Hun representing the blood, and we say that Hun represents our origins. Our origins, ladies and gentlemen, our origins is Vodùn. Vodùn being the most expansive and ancient of our traditions. We can't say that hard enough, intricately enough. That is the truth. But we accept all African traditions. All African traditions we look at as an extension, especially in West Africa, of that particular essence. Fifana no hami maunablo. Ache, ache, ache. This has been Ahosu Agelo Bagan Agbavi the First, with another installment of The King Speaks. Wishing you many blessings, light, positivity. Send any of your feedbacks to us. We would accept all positive and constructive feedback to see what we could do in the future. Right now we're planning by ear so far as doing our videos. Planning by ear meaning putting out what the people are asking for. So we look forward to hear from you. Ahwanu Kaka Edabo.